100 Eyes by Enchanted Tales Hub. I had not spoken to Mr. Kaido more than a dozen times. He lived in the flat above mine, a quiet, threadbare apartment tucked behind a bakery and a dry riverbed in an old corner of Kyoto. The building was narrow and crooked, with wooden stairs that creaked no matter how gently you climbed them. Some rooms were always colder than others, even in the warmth of spring. Mr. Kaido rarely left his room. He was, I believe, a manga illustrator once, modestly successful before something in his mind turned inward. We shared little beyond nods and an occasional hello on the stairs. He wore thick glasses and carried a sketch pad wherever he went, although I never saw him drawing in it. Often, he stared at reflections in puddles or glass windows, not at himself, but at something behind him, or within. I thought it strange then. Now I am not so sure. He disappeared in early April. The landlord found his room in near silence. No sign of struggle. Nothing stolen. But on the walls, ceiling, even the backs of furniture, were eyes. Hundreds of them. Drawn in ink, some smeared, others scratched deep into the wood. Some wide open, some half-lidded, some weeping. One, above the mirror, had his name written under it. Kaido, and in the center of the room, laid open on the floor, was his sketch pad. I should not have opened it, but the police were polite, disinterested. They called it a disappearance. A recluse lost to his own imagination. I called it something else. The drawings inside the pad were filled with eyes. Some pages had only one or two. Others were dense, thousands of them crowded together like fish in a dark pond. They were beautiful, in a way precise and detailed, yet not entirely human. Some had more than one iris. Some had none. Some blinked. No, I must be misremembering. But I was sure, even then, that I saw one of them blink. The old woman who ran the bakery downstairs told me Kaido had once drawn a comic that was banned for seeing too much, she said. It was about a man who drew truth, she whispered. And truth, once drawn, becomes a curse. I laughed nervously, but she didn't. He told me once, she added, wiping her flowery hands, that the world watches us back. Not with cameras, with memory, with old things, old spirits. Yokai? I asked. No, she said. Older than that. Nights grew heavier after that. I would wake and find new eyes in my dreams, watching from bookshelves, from the crack in the ceiling, from my own window pane. The sketch pad, which I had hidden in a drawer, now lay open each morning. New pages filled. And one night, just before the storm rolled in, I saw something on the stairs. A reflection. In the window. It had no body, just a wall of shifting eyes, blinking, watching. All different sizes. All fixed on me. I shut the window and never opened it again. When I finally decided to leave, the landlord seemed almost relieved. People come and go, he said, but some things stay. Before I left, I returned the sketch pad to Mr. Kaido's room, though it still smelled faintly of ink. I placed it on the floor where I had first found it. And as I turned to leave, I saw a new drawing had appeared. Not an eye, a face. My face, drawn with perfect detail, 2 eyes wide open. And written underneath, "The watcher becomes the watched." 12 years later, I have not returned to Kyoto since. Now I live in a smaller town in the mountains, the sort of place where trains run only twice a day and everyone knows your tea preferences. The winters are cold and the evenings quieter still. It suits me, but sometimes, in the moments between waking and sleep, I see the stairwell again. The wooden banister, polished by years of hands. The window that never quite shut. And sometimes I know that I am being watched. It is not an unpleasant feeling. Not anymore. Like an old habit or an old friend. Last autumn, a letter arrived. No return address. No stamp. Inside was a single sheet of thick, yellowing paper. On it, a sketch. One eye, drawn in ink. Delicate. Familiar. And underneath it, in a script I could never forget, "They only watch those who notice." I burned the letter, of course, but sometimes I wonder if I did it too late. Because lately, in mirrors and in puddles, I've started noticing more reflections than I remember standing in the room. Some blink when I don't, and one of them, I think, is smiling.